Hello and welcome to day 2 of Monica and my 5-day Kickstarter challenge. Day 1, we talked about your your title and your subtitle. Today, we're going to talk about your category, your location, and your product image. The product category and the location image are really easy. You just scroll down and you find the category that you want to go into, whatever is closest, mirroring what you're going to do. So comics, and anthologies is what we chose, but I could have probably choose comic books, graphic novels, web comics, if it was more in line. When I do novels, I do publishing and fiction. What's really cool is literally Kickstarter just rolled out this ability to choose a second category, which means I can put it exactly where Brandon Sanderson's campaign is, which is live now, and still have it in my original category. But please do keep it in categories that are relevant. Like, don't put your novel in design unless it's relevant to design. So this is a slightly less relevant in a different primary category, because the subcategories don't really matter on Kickstarter that much. But the secondary category that is most likely for your book. So we could have maybe done art. Maybe I could have done design because it's a comic book, but I think publishing and then fiction is the second one. So I want to catch everyone searching through publishing and everyone searching through comics now, and it will rank on both of those. Now, this is a very new feature, so sometimes it gets janky. And as I was designing this campaign, it would not let me pick a second category. It did not let me pick a second category until I went live, and actually a couple of days after I went live. In fact, in fairness, I just picked this second category and it stuck. So if it doesn't stick for you, if you come back and it keeps going, just wait a couple of days and then go do it. Because like literally this just happened today, a week and so into our campaign. Project location, just where you live. I guess if there's a huge contingent of authors somewhere else that do the thing that you do who all use Kickstarter, it might be relevant because you could search by area. But I just put it where I live. And finally, today is the product image. Now, I pride myself on the cover images that we choose. Generally, I like a cutout from the cover that is very striking, because what people are going to see is not that. They're not going to see that. I see that. They're not going to see that either, but a lot of people do see that. What they're going to see is this pretty small. And so and that has to stop them, just like a Facebook ad does. So like not a lot of copy. If you're going to do a copy, no more than this amount of this amount of words. Like I think this is too much because it takes away from the image. But it doesn't have to necessarily be a piece of your cover. But usually the cover is your best piece of marketing material, so it's good to have a piece of your cover. But look at these two lovely humans are cheersing. I've seen people do that before. Here's one that's just a person with their Oculus on. So it should be a good presentation of the campaign, really targeted to be able to be read even on this low. So you can see, like it was a dragon campaign. We did dragons. This was This was one that had multiple formats, so I wanted to show all of the formats that's available. This was a cover. Monica and I did this campaign, and Monica did this from BookBrush, I believe, or Canva, or CoverVault, or somewhere. She got a mock-up, which I really love. This is a cover of the first book of the Obsidian Spindle Saga. This is an inside page of one of our comics. But this is interesting because this is not from our books at all. I didn't think there was a good image from the 7 books to put on the cover of this that really stood out. So I went to Deposit Photos. I used every 3 to 4 months. Deposit Photos has an AppSumo deal where you can get 100 images for $30, and I always stock up when they do that. And I found one that I thought was really cool and dealt with mythological fantasy. I thought this universe coming out of this woman's head really spoke to the mythological fantasy part, and that she was looking right at you. Really, I think nailed it coming home. But this is not from any of our books. It just is a vibe image. And I use it, and you can use vibe images throughout your campaign as well, which I do. These are mostly covers, though, or interior images from the campaign. You can see that's sort of more close up. So your posit photo, I think, is great for these sort of imagery that you need throughout your campaign. And I have like a stock bunch of them, and I use them sometimes. I try not to use them here unless I absolutely have to, but like I use them all throughout our campaign just to add some vibage to the books. These all come from Cover Vault. And I use them again in all of our campaigns pretty much. There's another one from Deposit Photos. And so you're looking for something that, if you're using people, that the people are pointed or looking at camera in some way. So you can see that most of mine are looking. This one doesn't do that, but that's just a vibe one. This one looking right at you. Even the one of me is looking right at you. Even when we do the when I do my non-cover imagery, you see looking right at you, 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 looking right at. I mean, I can just keep going, looking at off camera, but like towards the viewer, looking right at you, looking right at you, looking right at you. And then we get to the other, my little bit older ones. But like I like an image where you can see exactly what you're getting very easily. And I really like what Monica did for nonfiction. But I have seen people do that one that we saw with the glasses clinking. And so a good way to do this is to go back to what we talked about yesterday and go to your campaigns, go to your categories. I'm just going to go into comics, all comics. And I'm going to, again, search by most backed. You can kind of get a vibe of the camera, like what they're doing. Some of these are not what I talked about, but like most of them have like a figure very centrally, not with a lot of text. And also check, please, Control-Alt-Delete. A lot of these are really popular webcomics that that they could probably put anything on here and it would work. There's the one for Let's Play, so you can just see kind of what they're doing. And every category is a little bit different. I'll bet if we went to publishing, it'd be a little bit different than this. But you can see Brandon Sanderson has a campaign like that. People are looking. And you just kind of see, like, okay, this is kind of the vibe. A lot of them are like just mock-ups of covers. And you then can use that when you go to your other campaigns. So, like, you could go to Cover Vault. These are free mock-ups. You can go to BookBrush or Canva, and there's a charge, I believe, on both of them to do any mock-up covers. But you can use them to see kind of what vibe you like which of them draws your eye. Like I'll be honest, most of these do not draw my eye at all on this campaign. I like this one. Like this one's pretty cool because I have no idea what's going on here. This one's pretty cool. This one I like a lot. This one is very muddy. And it's hard to see. But this one I think is good. I think this one is pretty good. This one is pretty good. And just you can go through. This one's really good. I really like this one. And you just go through and you kind of pick out which ones look good and also which ones seem like the most popular on this page. And it's also good to say, okay, that is what's generally happening, but what's happening live right now. And you see, there's just a lot of the same things that we talked about. And, a lot of, it seems like for publishing, there's a lot of these like mock-ups that are pretty successful. So that's what I would use to sort of plan and do your research on what the image should be. But for me, I have a pretty specific thing that I'm looking for, which is main character or characters, center of frame or slightly off center frame, looking at viewer. That's really where most of what I'm looking for to be a good image, what I have found personally to be a good image. If you look at all of my campaigns, after, like, these are my least successful campaigns, and you can see only one of them. This was my most successful campaign in the first 5 or 6 campaigns that I did, and it was person looking to camera. So once you can go off and upload your project image, and then share it with the group. Share the image with the group and let us see what you're doing. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.